Father, James Thompson Redmond of St. Louis, took off for Sacramento, California, where his uncle had been in the Comstock gold rush.
Remember to speak loud and enunciate.
With his brother Will, 14 years old, chaperoning his aunt, whose husband had been out in California around Sacramento in the gold rush. Pulling a whole team of mules behind their wagon, their covered wagon. And this is actually in 1662. It took them 3 months to get there. They set out from St. Joe, Missouri. And I just heard the mention of the Huntington Library because a very brilliant man was giving a set of lectures about it. And he had actually been the curator of the Huntington Library collection of Dead Sea Scroll materials, which have been given to them. And it was in the Huntington Library that my mother was asked to deposit by her grandfather, my great-grandfather, James Thompson Redmond, the journal that he kept on his journey across the Great Plains, bump, 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 on hard ground, in a wagon, covered wagon. You know, it was not like going on a car with good suspension system, rolling out, through, let's say, Highway 66 or something like that. He kept this journal in his breast pocket in a leather-covered little notebook, and my mother typed it up for him on her. I think it was a one of the old typewriters. It was before the days of the Selectric or the computer, and I think she typed it up on onion skin, maybe single space, and the copy was deposited, or the original was typescript was deposited in the Huntington Library. And I need my daughter, my stepdaughter Jessica Goodhart, to go see if she can find it under either Redmond or her name was Mary Virginia Landreth. It could be under her name since she was the depositor of the typescript. And this is the first chapter of my novel set in St. Louis, which we've heard so much about these days because of Ferguson and the murder of Michael Brown, who did have his hands raised high, as 16 witnesses attested to in the grand jury hearing. Great, the tragic event. God bless his family, who must be mourning so painfully. This family, the Lewis family and the Redmond family, my great-grandfather married Mary Ellen Lewis, who had a big plantation there, as did my grandfather's father, who was James Tewksbury Redmond, born in Kentucky, had a big plantation and beautiful big house, so big you could even fit it into the frame of a camera of those days. I saw pictures of both of these magnificent plantation houses, the Lewis house and also the Redmond house. they did get them in the with one of those old box cameras, which could have sometimes had very, very good lenses, and you could actually get a very decent pictures. From there was a little envelope that had all the houses that my great grandmother had lived in. Her grandmother Redmond, and the farmhouse at the Redmond Farm, and 10 miles from Marshall, Missouri, and Saline County, and also that plantation house she grew up in, and I don't think there was another. Then she may have had a picture of my grandparents' house, her daughter and her son-in-law, James Presley Landreth. So there may have been houses, pictures of three different houses. The original farmhouse, which was like a shack, before they added to it and put on a front porch and cornices and some, some of those beautiful Victorian houses were sort of like gingerbread, we'd call it. Anyway, there were three houses in that little envelope, photographs. And so, apropos of the lectures that I've been hearing by this wonderful writer about Dead Sea Scrolls, I forget his first name, that Nicholas was listening to late into the night last night, who was the curator for the Huntington Library of their collection of materials about the Dead Sea Scrolls. He had mentioned the Huntington Library, and I have to see if my stepdaughter will do a favor for me and go and see if she can find this typescript my mother had done for her grandfather at the Huntington Library. And that is the end of my morning's contribution to family history videos. And I am David Landreth, David Redmond Landreth Van der Vescht. The river Vescht comes up from Amsterdam and is supposedly, I've never seen it, it's the Roters River, on which all the rich and famous who are living in Holland now live. And my name is Van Vactor, my last name, which was originally Van Vechten before they changed it to Van Vactor because it was easier to pronounce. Americans couldn't pronounce the Germanic CH sound, Van Vechten, which is, Vechten is a little town on the Vecht River. And when I was in Holland this summer, people said they visited it. It was an absolutely beautiful, very ancient town. And we were not able to visit it when we were there, staying at 374 Appelhaven in Orne, which is a harbor where the East India Company was founded, probably in the 17th or 16th century. My people, the Van Vechten brothers, Cornelius and Toinus, arrived in Albany, New York in 1632, and soon it will be 400 years ago that my ancestors on my paternal side arrived in New York State on the Hudson River. I'm very proud of them, and once I saw the land they came from this summer when we exchanged houses with the Fisher family, Ward Fisher and his daughters, who were 13, 15, 16, and 17, who stayed in our manoir at the presbytery in Saint-Michel-de-Livet, Lower Normandy. I saw that. I wondered why the Van Vechten brothers left this fantastic place. Had they made a mistake? This land was so beautiful. I mean, these canals along the town of Orn, spelled Hoorn, and the symbol is a French horn, or as they say in France, cor anglais, which I played for years and years. I played a double horn in Alexander that I bought in Mainz, Germany. And also I played a hunting horn, an open horn for a while, but it was stolen when we moved from Cambremer to this town on the top of a hill, Saint-Michel-de-Livet, right above Libero, where one of the best cheeses is made in France. Anyway, that's all I have to say this morning. I will call my son now and get him to put this on YouTube and preserve it, make sure it's preserved. Thank you for your patience. And have a jolly day. It's a beautiful sunny day here with golden sunlight, rather crisp and cold, but bracing. And I've been around the house twice already. I was up about 4 o'clock and having a wonderful time. I'm in an absolutely magnificent mood. I hope I've communicated these family stories lucidly enough to be understood. And be well. Thank you. Nicholas, I'm done.